South Korean opposition lawmakers have tabled a motion to impeach the president after his martial law U-turn. President Yoon Suk Yeol declared military rule in a midnight address and ordered soldiers to storm the National Assembly. Yoon set off a crisis that led to ugly scenes being broadcast around the world as South Korea was plunged into turmoil yesterday. Elite Army Special Forces, who wielded machine guns loaded with live ammunition, arrived in helicopters and were covered by snipers as they sought to seize the parliament. Troops pushed their way through a crowd protesting Yoon's decision outside the building and smashed windows and broke through doors to get past defences that had been built by civilians. Officials built barricades at the parliament's doors and sprayed the soldiers with fire extinguishers as lawmakers desperately pushed back against Yoon's power grab. Opposition lawmakers have now tabled a motion to sack Yoon after he later backed down 6 hours after the declaration in a humiliating U-turn. The vote to depose him will likely come Friday after South Korea's parliament voted 190-0 to overrule the martial law declaration. Lee Jae-myung, the leader of the opposition, has slammed the martial law declaration Wednesday as a coup against the people and said the ruling party might even try again. He has hosted a massive rally outside the National Assembly, saying the great Korean people have overcome this coup. Martial law was declared by President Yoon in a shock television address at 11 p.m. Tuesday night local time. He told South Koreans he needed to free the country from North Korean forces trying to, quote, paralyze the essential functions of the state. He said, "I declare martial law to protect the Free Republic of Korea from the threat of North Korean communist forces, to eradicate the despicable pro-North Korean anti-state forces that are plundering the freedom and happiness of our people, and to protect the free constitutional order." Analysts have described Yoon's decision as a last-ditch attempt by a lame duck president to push his agenda through. His decision led to chaos as Seoul residents turned up to the parliament and protested, forming a human shield against heavily armed troops as they tried to seize the parliament. South Korea's special forces could be seen climbing windows to break into the building, while officials built makeshift barricades at its entrance. Opposition lawmakers, who have a majority in the parliament, called for the public to gather outside the building and protest the decision. Heavily armed troops pointed their assault rifles at civilians and MPs as they battled to make their way inside the building. Opposition MPs labelled the declaration illegal and unconstitutional. A vote against the declaration had support across Parliament, with the President's own party not voting. Following the vote, Yoon then made another address, calling off his decision but doubling down on his reason to call it. All of Yoon's senior aides have now offered to resign, while the ruling party has urged the president to sack his defence minister, who proposed the declaration, Yonhap reported. Impeaching Yoon would require the support of 2/3 of Parliament and the backing of at least 6 Constitutional Court justices. Thousands of Koreans are today out on the streets protesting the decision across the country. People have gathered in front of the National Assembly as the opposition hold a rally. The US has declared it is ready for any situation if North Korea were to try and use the crisis to their advantage. Philip Goldberg, the ambassador in Seoul, told Yonhap the US was in contact with its leadership of 30,000 troops in the country. He said, "As I said before, our commitment to the Republic of Korea, the ROK-US alliance, and the Korean people is unwavering and ironclad. This will of course continue, and we are always on alert for any situation or problem." North Korea is yet to comment on the political crisis, with the state newspaper not covering it in Wednesday's edition. The White House has also said it was not notified in advance of Yoon's decision to call martial law.